Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
You ever get that feeling? Like work is kind of bleeding into every other part of your life.
Especially when going home just means walking to a different room.
Yeah. It's like work-life balance, like that whole idea, it's just, I don't know, impossible in this always-on world.
It really feels that way for a lot of people, and it's interesting the guide we're looking at today. It really gets into why this struggle is so common. It's like not just how much work there is, but the whole way our lives are set up these days.
Right. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, work-life balance. And hey, let's be real. It's not about finding that perfect 50-50 split.
Not at all. Our sources make it clear it's way more dynamic than that.
Yeah, it's about, how do I put it? Consciously using your time and energy, making sure both your work life and your personal life can, actually thrive.
Exactly. It's about being intentional. So you're not just bouncing between demands, but actually, nurturing both parts of your life. Both help you feel good overall.
And that's why you're here with us today, to figure out how to do that. Because when you get this balance thing right, the benefits are huge.
Yeah.
Like you feel better, period. More energy, less stress, the whole 9 yards.
Totally. And you just function better, more focused, effective in everything you do. Our guide even points out it leads to real improvements in your mental health. You feel calmer, more emotionally stable, more balanced overall.
Oh, absolutely. And our guide doesn't sugarcoat things either. It talks about how this ties into building resilience. Like when your life's balanced, you're better equipped to handle all that stress, the stuff that pops up at work, A&D at home.
And this is big. It helps prevent burnout. Our source makes it clear. Burnout's not just mental exhaustion. It affects your physical health too.
It really does. Our source talks about how, like, chronic imbalance, it can up your risk for things like heart disease because of that constant stress. It's not just about feeling tired. It has real consequences down the line.
And think about this. How often do we just accept that we're supposed to feel stressed and overwhelmed all the time? We blame it on the workload, but don't realize, how much this lack of balance impacts our bodies.
That's a good point. And here's a twist, right? Our guide actually says, when you take time to rest, to have a life outside of work, your productivity at work actually goes up.
It makes sense when you think about it. Your brain gets to recharge, so when you are working, you're more focused, more efficient. There's research that backs this up on how our brains need these periods of rest and recovery to process information and regain focus. If we push through without breaks, we actually end up performing worse.
Wow, yeah. And we can't forget the relationships, right? Spending time with friends and family, putting effort into those connections, it makes them stronger.
Definitely. And here's something that might surprise people. When you're not running on empty all the time, you actually enjoy your work more. It's like this positive feedback loop.
I love that. So that's our mission today. We're going to dig into this guide, pull out some practical strategies, things you can actually use to get your time back, your health, and your happiness. We want to help you build a life that's meaningful, focused, and, sustainable for the long haul. And this guide, it covers a lot. Mental well-being, productivity techniques, lifestyle stuff. There's a lot to unpack.
Exactly. We're going beyond the theory and getting to those concrete steps you can start doing today to see real changes.
Awesome. All right, so let's jump in. What does our guide say about why we feel so out of balance in the first place? Like, what are the root causes here?
Well, it points to a few things that kind of work together. A big one, especially with more people working remotely, is that the lines get blurred. When your workspace and personal space are the same, it's really hard to switch off.
Right. The office is always right there. You're tempted to check one more email or finish that quick task, and suddenly those boundaries disappear.
It's like this always-on state of partial attention. Even when we're not actually working, the notifications keep us from disconnecting and being present in our personal lives.
And then there's us, right? We tend to overcommit. We take on too much, both at work and in our personal lives. And guess what gets squeezed out?
You got it. Our personal time, our well-being.
Ugh, every time. And the guide says part of this is because of these expectations, the ones we put on ourselves and the ones that kind of come from the workplace. This pressure to always be available, to constantly be producing.
It's a lot. And that's where the guilt comes in, right? Feeling bad for taking breaks, for not being productive 24/7, even when we're exhausted and need to rest.
It's like we've learned that our value is tied to how much we do.
And the guide is very clear. That mindset is actually counterproductive. Rest and recovery aren't luxuries, they're essential for, well, everything. Feeling guilty for taking time off is only going to make it harder to find that balance.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And lastly, our guide gets practical. Talks about poor time management. If we don't have a system, if things aren't organized, tasks can pile up, and suddenly it feels impossible to make time for anything outside of work.
And that creates a vicious cycle. Bad time management leads to longer hours, which eats into personal time, which increases stress, which makes it harder to manage time effectively.
Oh, I see that happening all the time. So how do we know if we're in this unhealthy place? What are some signs to watch out for?
The guide gives us a pretty good list. One of the biggest ones is feeling tired and irritable all the time, even when you think you've got enough sleep.
Yeah, I know that feeling. And what about that, nagging feeling that you don't have enough time for friends, family, your hobbies, things you used to love doing?
Huge red flag, for sure. When those personal connections and passions start to suffer because you don't have the time or energy, that's a sign things are out of whack.
Right. And let's be real. Who hasn't had trouble sleeping when they're stressed and overworked? Tossing and turning, waking up feeling exhausted.
It's a classic sign. Sleep is so important for our minds and bodies. When you're not sleeping well, it's a huge indicator that something's wrong. It can actually make everything else worse.
Oh, for sure. And in this day and age, there's that constant urge to check messages even when you're not working.
Yep, it's hard to disconnect. The guide also mentions feeling mentally and emotionally drained, like you're running on fumes all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's burnout knocking on the door. It's that feeling of being completely overwhelmed, like you can't cope anymore.
Exactly. And physically, it can show up as headaches, muscle tension, even those early signs of heart problems we talked about earlier.
So it's a bit of a scary list.
Mhm.
But the guide makes a good point. These signs are a wake-up call. They're a chance to make a change.
Right. And the good news is our source gives us a ton of practical advice, stuff based on research that you can start using right now to get back on track.
Awesome. Let's get to it. What's the first step?
Setting clear boundaries. It's the foundation for everything else. We've talked about how those blurred lines are a huge problem, so creating a separate workspace, even if it's just a corner of a room, can make a difference.
Oh, I love this tip from the guide. Change your clothes when you're done working for the day, even if you're working from home.
It sounds simple, but it's a powerful signal to your brain, you know? Work mode is off, personal time is on.
I'm going to try that. And of course, having set work hours, a clear start and end time, that's important too, no matter where you're working.
And don't be afraid to tell people what those hours are. Let your colleagues, your clients know when you're available, and just as importantly, when you're not.
Right. Set those expectations.
Yeah.
And while it might feel weird at first, turning off work notifications after hours,
Yeah.
game changer. Our source really stresses that.
It takes effort, but that peace of mind, not being bombarded with work stuff all the time, it's so worth it.
All right. Next up, our guide talks about the 80-20 rule. What's that all about?
It's also called the Pareto principle, and basically it says that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your effort. So when it comes to work-life balance, our source says you need to figure out which tasks have the biggest impact at work. Those are your 20%.
So it's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. The guide recommends using tools like Trello, Notion, or even just a good old to-do list to help you figure out what those key tasks are and focus on them.
Got it. And this is a big one. Learning to say no to things that aren't a priority.
That's right. Saying no is a superpower. It protects your time and energy. It's about being intentional with how you spend your effort.
Love that. And the next tip, it's something we all need to do better, taking breaks.
You mean actually taking breaks, not just working through lunch and wondering why we feel fried by 5 p.m.
Yep. Our guide says working nonstop isn't just a recipe for burnout, it's also surprisingly inefficient.
It's true. Taking short breaks throughout the day can actually make you more productive. You know, things like the Pomodoro technique, working in intervals with short breaks in between. Our source talks about how to do that.
And these breaks don't have to be fancy. Just stand up and stretch, take a quick walk, eat your lunch away from your desk.
Those little things give your brain a chance to reset. And don't skip breaks, especially lunch. Our guide really emphasizes that.
Okay, this next one's tough. Saying no without feeling guilty.
So tough. But our source is clear. It's absolutely essential for setting those boundaries and protecting your time. Saying no is self-care. It's about respecting yourself.
And our guide gives us some helpful phrases like, I'm at capacity right now, or let's revisit this later. It also talks about the importance of setting expectations up front with colleagues, friends, family, everyone.
Right? Communication is key. When you're clear about your availability and commitments, it prevents misunderstandings and helps people manage their expectations.
So important. And this next area, it's non-negotiable, making your mental and physical health a priority.
Couldn't agree more. Our source is firm on this. You can't take care of anyone else if you don't take care of yourself first.
It's that whole put your own oxygen mask on first thing. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's essential.
Absolutely. And the guide breaks it down. Get regular exercise. It's vital. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. 7-9 hours is the sweet spot. And find some mindfulness practices that work for you, whether it's meditation, journaling, or just taking some time to be present.
And this tip is genius. Schedule your self-care activities like they're important meetings.
I love that. It makes it more likely that you'll actually do them.
Makes sense. And of course, the basics still matter. Drinking enough water, eating nutritious meals.
Those things impact your energy levels, your mood, everything.
All right, let's talk tech. Our guide says we need to make technology work for us, not against us.
It's about using it strategically. The source talks about all these great apps and tools for managing tasks, improving focus, tracking your time. They can make you so much more efficient and organized.
Oh, for sure. And on the flip side, the guide recommends setting limits on social media and other apps that can be distracting.
It's about creating a digital environment that supports your goals and well-being instead of letting it stress you out.
Okay, next up, remember, you're not alone in this. Building a support network is huge GE.
Having people who understand what you're going through, people who can offer advice and support, it makes a huge difference. Our source talks about the importance of talking to friends, family, colleagues.
And don't be afraid to ask for help, delegate tasks at home, get extra support if you need it. The guide even suggests finding online groups or communities for remote workers or people in similar situations so you can share experiences and tips.
It's about finding that sense of community, knowing you're not the only one going through this.
So important. Now, this one's for everyone. Protect your me time. The guide says we all deserve dedicated time to just be. No obligations, no to-do lists.
It's about finding things you genuinely enjoy, things that help you recharge. Reading, hobbies, being in nature, just resting.
Make that me time non-negotiable. Even if it's just 15-20 minutes a day, it's not selfish, it's self-care.
It's an investment in your long-term well-being.
And remember, life changes, work changes. What worked last month might not work this month. That's why our guide says it's important to regularly review and adjust your commitments.
Like, take a step back every week and look at your schedule. What's working, what's not? Are there things you can cut out? Tasks, meetings, habits, anything that's draining you?
Exactly. Be flexible, be adaptable. This whole work-life balance thing is an ongoing process.
It really is. And lastly, our guide reminds us that it's okay to ask for help. If you're constantly overwhelmed, if you're struggling to cope, reach out to a professional.
Don't be afraid to talk to a therapist, a counselor, a coach. They can give you tools and strategies to deal with all this. And don't forget about any wellness programs your employer might offer.
Getting professional support can be life-changing. It's a safe space to work through challenges and find healthy ways to cope.
All right, as we wrap up, the main takeaway from our guide is this. Work-life balance isn't about reaching some finish line. It's a journey. It's about making choices, making adjustments, so you can build a life that feels good, that you can sustain, a life with some peace in it.
It's about putting your well-being first and being intentional with your time and energy. Those are your most valuable resources.
And to you, listening right now, take care of yourself mentally and physically. Guard your time. Don't let your job become your whole identity. There's more to life than that. Our guide puts it perfectly. You only get one life. Make sure your workday is supporting it, not consuming it. Find a routine that leaves room for joy, for rest, for growth.
It's about creating a life that nourishes you on all levels. Your work, your relationships, your sense of self.
And on that note, we want to hear from you. What does balance look like in your life? What changes, even small ones, have helped you feel more in control? Which of these tips are you excited to try? Start thinking about it, talk to someone about it, because your journey towards a more balanced life starts now. What's one step you can take today?
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.